States of America.
Just so you know what, you can see some different behavior. Like for me, had a injection in my eye. So, I'm gonna ask for assistance from my colleagues here and also the township manager, township solicitor from time to time, and also the fire chief and the police chief. I go through the agenda pretty good. I know it off by heart right now after 9 years, but I can't read some of the fine print, okay? Just so you know what I'm doing. So you come my right eye, that's what I got the injection. Public comment time. Would you read that passage for me?
Yes. The Township Board of Supervisors allocates a period of time during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on any matter. Each person addressing the Board of Supervisors is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Is there anyone, do you have a list?
I have a list here of
Okay.
folks that signed up. I can read your handwriting here. David Hout? Hart. Would you like to make a public comment?
Thank you. A few days ago, I live on Stonehenge Drive,
Okay, good. We need your address. Yeah. Okay, good.
and there was road repairs done, and I looked out, and there was only half done. There was more markings. And so I talked to the road supervisor, and he said, well, what happened is the job got to getting in deeper as they went along, and it took more extensive work, and this put down patch was a waste. And I certainly agree with that proposal. He said, now, we're coming back next year and do it, and that's good. I would just like to suggest when they come back next year, that maybe door flyers be put out saying, next week, your street's going to be paved, apologize for the inconvenience, and it'll just set better. Someone comes home when they got a bunch of groceries and they're parking 3 blocks away. Just a suggestion, just as a common courtesy to people who live there. So,
That's a good suggestion.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for telling us about it. I do appreciate it. You have another person?
So we have 3 representatives from U-Haul who are on the agenda. And we have Mrs. Charlotte Thong, who is also on the agenda. And that's all we have that have signed up.
To speak now?
Yes, that's all we signed.
Later.
Later?
They're speaking later.
Yes, correct. Okay, good. Okay, let's move on, please. Meeting minutes. Would you please read you can do it one at a time there, and I'll ask for a motion, Mr. Ziegler.
Okay.
The meeting minutes.
Board of Supervisors, meeting minutes for the meeting of October 22nd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Need a second, please.
Second.
Thanks, Mr. Grego. Any discussion on that, on those minutes? Please indicate approval by indicating by aye. George, you? Aye, okay.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Those opposed?
No.
Motion carries 4-1. Okay, next one, Mr. Ziegler.
Yes, Board of Supervisors budget meeting, October 2nd, 2024.
Move to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Grego, any discussion? George, any? All those in favor of approving the minutes for October 2nd, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? George, what did you say? George?
Aye.
Aye, okay, thank you, George. Motion carries 5-0. Next one, Board of Supervisors, what date is that?
October 15th, 2024.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Grego. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
October 16th.
October, thank you, Mr. Murphy. Board of Supervisors, budget meeting October 16th. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Grego. Any discussion on it? All those in favor of approving the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, George. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, next item of business is the financial business. Mr. Murphy, would you read that for me?
Approval of the payrolls for the period of September 29th, 2024 through October 12th, 2024, and October 13th, 2024 through October 26th, 2024. And bills for the period October 19th, 2024 through November 15th, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Motion to approve. Thank you, Mr. Boley. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, George. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, this next area, announcements and recognition. I usually like to handle this section. I'm very proud of our fire department and police department, our road department. I think they do a great job and provide great services to our community. But we've had some things that I think need to be brought to the attention. Which one wanted to go first? Chief, please, would you come up there, Cody? Wayne Woods was just right here. And we've got something happen here that we want to show recognition for in our township.
Good evening, everyone. The South Champaign Township Police Department believes in the recognition of its officers, employees, community members, and rewarding their outstanding efforts and service to this community. In keeping with this belief, the South Champaign Township Police Department recognizes Officer Jamie Quintero for his outstanding and life-saving efforts. On March 31st, 2024, South Champaign Township Officer Jamie Quintero responded to an ATV crash where the 911 caller reported that the driver was trapped under the ATV, was not breathing, and I'll quote, the dispatcher was an obvious DOA. Quintero arrived, ran to the crash victim, immediately lifted the ATV from atop the crash victim while instructing bystanders to drag the man out from under the ATV. Quintero found the victim with severe injuries to his head, was not breathing, and had no pulse. Quintero performed CPR chest compressions on the victim until he was later relieved by fire and EMS personnel, who later reported that the victim had regained a pulse. The crash victim has survived his injuries, is at home recovering thanks to the heroic life-saving efforts of Officer Jamie Quintero. Quick reaction by Officer Quintero, his recognition of the life-threatening situation, and his immediate selfless actions qualify for him this life-saving award. Both South Champaign Township and his police department recognize his life-saving actions. Congratulations, Officer Jamie Quintero.
Come on up.
Letter of commendation, life-saving.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Officer. Thank you for coming over. I appreciate it. Great job.
If I could also
Go ahead.
add, it's, you know, I mentioned the commendation for the officer. Want to also recognize the cooperation that night amongst EMS personnel and fire personnel. Watching the body camera video, you know, within minutes of Officer Quintero, you know, performing the chest compressions, a firefighter came in and had relieved him, took over, given the officer a break. Later set up, helped prep the man for transport, set up a landing zone in Community Park. We were able to get the person life flighted out to the hospital, where of course we know he survived. So it was you know, a big combination that night of cooperative efforts amongst fire, EMS, and police to save this man's life.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. Fire Chief, come up. We usually like to handle these things. I'm very proud of these folks, but got my eye. I'm asking these folks to help me out tonight. So, Chief, we go ahead and do two or three different episodes you got there.
Yeah, two items that you'd asked me to highlight this evening. The first was involving a vehicle accident that we were dispatched for on November 7th. Around 8 a.m., we were dispatched for a report of an individual that had been run over by a vehicle. Our firefighters responded along with the ambulance and chair, our police departments. Police arrived on scene and reported that the individual was still pinned underneath the vehicle. Thanks to it being not too far from here, I arrived shortly after them and confirmed that a female patient was still trapped underneath the vehicle. Our engine, who was staffed by Captain Brown and firefighter Bolin, arrived about 2 or 3 minutes after I did, and they extricated the victim from underneath the vehicle within 4 minutes of their arrival. So from the time that we were dispatched to the call, which includes the travel time to the scene, they had her out from under the vehicle in 11 minutes, which is extraordinary. So we wanted to recognize the quick action of our crew that was on duty, as well as, again, the partnership with our police and EMS service.
What firefighters were there that night? Would you stand up if firefighters were there at the moment you needed to?
And I actually talked to the victim from that incident last week. She contacted me. She was released from the hospital about 3 days and was doing well. But again, when somebody's crushed underneath of the vehicle, time is of the essence. She was flown to a trauma center, probably arrived from the time that incident happened to a level 1 trauma center in about 30 minutes, which is, again, phenomenal. So we're proud of that work. The other incident that I think a lot of folks saw at some points was one of the accidents on the highway. So we've been extremely busy lately with accidents on I-79, I-70. Last week, I believe Friday or Saturday, we'd had 4 accidents on 79. One of those accidents involved a caravan of vehicles from a fire department in New York that was traveling with relief items to hurricane victims in Tennessee, North Carolina, those areas, and ended up in an accident. So our crew, once they had learned that, brought them back to our fire station, got them some coffee. They broke bread together. They got to tour our fire station a little bit and kind of got them back on the way. So, you know, that's something that they would probably do for just about anyone, but, you know, that's something that happens here within the fire service. So we'd ask me to highlight that one.
You know what, folks? I know I do a lot of celebrating our departments, but once again, we celebrate. We are so lucky to have a 24/7 hybrid fire department that's totally effective and professional here. We got around-the-clock service. Same with the police. You got a professional leading that group up there. And these guys are top-notch. Just take my word for it. And I'll tell you what, I don't like to leave out that third department either. That road department, they're right there when you need them. On Johnny on the spot, they take care of our community. And I know what happens in life. You take a lot of things for granted. We all do that from time to time. But you can rest assured that you're in your home and you're sleeping at night. You got 3 departments serving you around the clock in a professional manner, in a really, really top-notch way. So I want to give a round of applause to Chief Kramer and Chief Oak.
I should mention too, on November 8th, we had a firefighter that was operating in a brush fire in Amwell Township that was struck by a tree while operating, knocked unconscious. He received some head trauma and was flown to Presby Hospital. He thankfully is home at this point, but it's just a kind of a reminder of some of the things that these folks face every single day. But our department, I was out of town teaching at the time, our department did a great job with ensuring that they came around to support that injured firefighter. So.
And that's because of your leadership in our police department, because of that leadership of Chief Oak. Very good. Guys, once again, thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you guys back there too. I recognize you guys back here. And, well done. Thank you, Chief. Oh, and thank you, Chief George, for taking care of that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Township.
Yeah. This time of the meeting is for municipal, MS4, municipal stormwater management system. As the board allocates 3 minutes, if anyone would like to speak about MS4.
We have anyone, Mr. Ziegler?
No one signed up for that.
Nobody signed up? Do
we have anyone online?
On the board?
Not that anyone's indicated, there are 14 people online.
Okay. Nobody wants to speak. Okay. All right, let's move on to the
Township manager, secretary, treasurer's report.
The Secretary Treasurer's report is provided for your review. As far as my report goes, I would like to start with mentioning a couple of events that are coming up for Parks and Recreation. On Saturday, Saturday, December 7th, from 10 to 12, there will be a breakfast with Santa event at the fire station on Oak Spring Road. This is for South Strabane Township residents only. The cost would be $5 per child. Breakfast is being provided by Bob Evans, and Santa will be there. He will have a gift for kids ages 1 to 10. Registration is limited to the first 175 South Strabane Township residents, so go on the township website, scan the QR code, and get registered at that point. The other event is an adult Christmas dinner that will be held on Sunday, December 15th, from 1 o'clock, beginning at 1 o'clock, also at the fire station on Oak Spring Road. That is for township residents only. The cost for this is $10 per person. The delicious catered meal. You can enjoy delightful company and some holiday spirit. Seats are limited on this one. Also, you can go to the township website, scan the QR code, and get yourself reserved for a spot on that one. Leaf collection dates. I wanted to mention that again. We're coming to a close on that shortly, but it will continue on Mondays through December the 2nd. Again, no plastic bags, tape, or staples with your bags, please. Have your leaf bags at the curb by 7:30 on collection day. At this point in time, you still need some bags. We have some here at the township office. The first pack of 5 bags is free, and after that, they're $2 per pack. And it's hard to believe, but I also wanted to, on behalf of the Public Works Department, start to mention something about winter weather. We're supposed to be getting some snow, believe it or not, later this week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. So please slow down and be extra vigilant as we enter this season. And if possible, if you can avoid parking your vehicle on the roads during a snow event, it'll make their jobs plowing the roads a lot more easy. So if that's something that you can do, it would be appreciated. And then finally, I would like to note that next week on November 27th and 28th, the township office will be closed in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you, Mr. Ziegler.
Yeah.
Township solicitors report.
I have a couple questions for Mr. Ziegler. Does the township have a community center?
Do we have a community center?
Yes.
Not that I know of.
Got a phone call Sunday, in Sunday's paper, the redevelopment authorities having an amendment. It says here that the South Strabane Township demolition cancel project. What project that was got canceled?
I know nothing about that.
It says the next project, South Strabane Community Center, a new project.
That's Pancake Fire Hall number 2, which used to be a pavilion rental, where you could rent it out. They're trying to get back to that.
Okay.
So we're spending some block grant money to try to get handicap accessibility to it.
Well, which one did we cancel? I thought that's what we were doing.
We canceled the pavilion and redoing the restrooms. They changed. I don't know if that was as well.
I don't know why it was being called demolition.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what, there was some CDBG money that was shifted from something else. I have to dig back and find out.
What was it for?
It was originally for demolition of 4 homes, 4 or 5 vacant structures in the township, and then the board voted to shift that to, right. But I thought that they had already taken action on that. But
Well, what's the demolition part? Just that.
originally, that CDBG money was allotted for.
I understand that, but now it's being transferred to the fire department. What's gonna happen?
That's why they canceled the project. That's why it comes up as 2 different items. Demolition, cancellation, and then
Okay.
move it over
Right.
to what they call it, community center, which is
Yeah.
a little bit odd, but
Right.
that's what it is.
They went on.
Yeah.
Is the grant gonna cover the whole thing, and did we put anything in the budget for that?
It's going to cover, well, not the whole project, that particular piece of it. The particular piece that they're working on that, it should cover all of it, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, this belongs to this building belongs, did the township buy this building several years ago?
No.
So it belongs to the fire department.
Correct.
Okay. But it will be used as a community center, what's gonna be the use when it's done?
It is training building, primarily first responders, but there will be public education classes there as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Township Solicitor report.
Thank you. So the planning commission made a recommendation to approve the Panda Express proposal. This office added some additional language that further protects the township. So I believe we provided a draft to y'all for review. In addition to that, we've also amended the current recycling ordinance, and a draft has been provided, which reflects such changes. I really think that's the biggest issues to discuss. So I think that's it.
Okay, sure.
I think there was one thing that you reviewed, was that the Burkett, not Burkett Manor, Bradford Woods?
The winter services.
Yeah,
agreement.
you worked on the winter services. agreement
Yes,
for Bradford.
yeah.
Why aren't we putting the same verbiage in there where they have to pay up front like we've done? Like
It
we
is the
did?
exact same agreement
It's the
as
same-
last
that-
year.
Okay, I did not read
Yes.
that. Okay, but that is in there?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's a good idea. That's good. And we're gonna put that in all of our future agreements?
Yes,
The townships paid up front. so we don't
Definitely, we'll
chase
pay it up
people for
front,
money?
yep.
All right.
This PennDOT pays something.
Township Engineer report.
So update on Burkett Manor, the last conversation I had with the developer was that they are planning to start phase 2 work next week. I reached out to Regents, we're going to confirm that everything's in place because I suspect it's going to start with sanitary. I haven't heard back from Rob yet, but I emailed him this morning. So, but yeah, expect utility work to start in phase 2 next week. We did reach out to LSA to transfer that LSA funds for the stormwater project. There's going to be a manifold to another project that's a little bit more shovel ready to go. We haven't heard a decision on that yet, but that letter was sent 2 weeks ago, week or two ago. So I'm expecting to go back that quickly. Just touched on the ADA project at Pancake. We had provided some documentation to CDBG, which is probably why you saw that now. They requested some follow-up information. We provided it and probably just put it in front of the board once they had that.
We have to have a hearing on it.
Okay, so so they haven't actually made that decision yet. Okay.
Well, what did the 4 houses that were supposed to be demolished, I assume that they were unsafe?
They were owned by individuals.
Right.
So it was the board's thing, if they're unsafe and falling down, whoever owns them come tear them down. Not using government money, I want to use it for something of our own. And that was kind of the way it went. 2 of them were on, Zach, where are they on Pancake Hill when you make the bend? The 2 houses they tore down by you. Those were 2 that
One
they,
right by the bar, right?
yeah, they tore 2 down on, and it didn't cost us anything. They were owned by somebody, and I don't know about the other 2.
I don't know that we never actually identified all of them officially, but we had just gotten funding to be able to do those 4 or 5 houses.
And the redevelopment told us that, chances of us getting money for them all, they can only use a small amount. And so every township wants this demolished, that demolished, that demolished. And they said you're never probably not gonna get it for demolition. So we want a different route.
Well, have we condemned them? If they're unsafe, have we condemned them?
2 of them were torn down.
Okay.
I
that's
don't know
good.
that the other 2, like Jordan said, I don't know if they were, that was Brandon, he was the
Yeah, I
one that
don't
wanted
think
to
they
tear
made
it
it
down.
to that
I don't know
phase of
that
the
they were
process
ever-
Because there's some significant cost to the township too to get to that condemnation.
On T524, that little dead end,
There may have been in that
that was
individual.
tore down, and there was one right on the bend. I think there might have been 3 altogether torn down. As soon as you turn on, left-hand side.
And the last item on my report is referencing the very road evaluation that's further down the agenda. So I'll hold my comments on that for the time being. So is there any questions? That's all I have for this month.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, being none, we'll move to new business. 9A, motion to award Bay Road evaluation to Trans Associate for their amended proposal in the amount of $57,000.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Good. Discussion?
Yeah, isn't Vance Associates the ones that did the work for the church on Fisher Road? That there was a lot of stuff that was in there that wasn't right. And then they also do the impact fee study, and there was a lot of stuff in there that was, the information just wasn't right.
they are a consultant for the traffic impact fee ordinance. It's ongoing. I don't know that I would say that there's a bunch of things in there that wasn't correct. Part of the process was to develop those documents, and through the development of the documents process, there are changes and evolutions in the document. I wouldn't characterize that as being a mistake. But as far as the Fisher Road, I'm not sure what's Fisher Road. I mean, I know where Fisher Road is, but what's the project there that they worked on?
I don't recall who.
It's church.
Oh, they were working for us.
Yeah, if you remember the traffic study was just miserably flawed. And that, $57,000 is a lot of money. Okay, they tell us what to do. Do we have any money or any intentions to do it?
No, the intent was to do the study first, which would open you up and put everything in place so you could seek other funding.
No, that's a lot
So
of money.
until you can go after, you can't go after funding without a solid concept of what you want to do. So when we first brought this to the board, it was in the form of a proposal to evaluate the road, because there were a lot of questions on what to do out there, and there weren't a lot of clear answers. So we suggested we do a formal study to do that, and the board directed us to seek funding for it, because it's an expensive effort. So we prepared the LSA funding application for that study, and you were successful in securing that funding to do the study. The idea being that once you complete the study now, we can go to PennDOT, we can go back to LSA, we can go to other funding sources to attempt to get funding or work with other developers if that would become the case. So, I mean, there's always this question of what to do with Berry Road, and not a whole lot of answers. So the idea was, let's get a report done that gives us a clear path on what we want to do, what needs to be done there, so that in the event of whether you have a developer come in or whether you seek additional funding, or whether you just look at a partnership with PennDOT, because a lot of this is going to be involving PennDOT, because the intersection with Manifold is part of the problem. So in order to do that, you have to have a plan. And that was the idea, get the plan together and get ready to go. Now, this isn't just a study, they're doing the full survey, doing full topo. The only thing, their original proposal was more than this. They amended their proposal, got rid of some wetlands work that we can worry about later. Plus they're doing some work on traffic calming options and taking a comprehensive look at that, look at the roadway geometry. They're spending some time on it. So this will give you a good sense of what to do with that in Berry Road.
There was some talk of getting the transportation center to pay for some of the improvements for Berry Road. Is that going anywhere?
Well, the transportation center is, I believe, moving forward. There's some, I guess, some amendments need to be made on that one, but I believe that's moving forward. So I would expect that to be done before this happens. Plus, one of the conditions of that approval, if I remember correctly, was that traffic's not going to
Go down now, they were guaranteed they weren't going that way.
Hey, Rob,
I don't know, none of the planning for that project, for some reason, the township by neglect did not run it through the appropriate authorization process. Nothing was ever put before the public to do anything on that. So I just wondered.
I believe they still have to come. Am I wrong or right?
final approvals.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to come for a site development.
We just received their application on Friday. So.
Yeah, they haven't even come through yet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but there was a zoning issue there.
Can't answer, you'd have to talk to the solicitors, the one that said you're not stopping them, so I'd like to, but.
Kristen, what do you have on that?
They applied for conditional use.
They have, they're going to the planning commission?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Step
It'll
that's
be
where
in
that's where
December
to
with
go.
the planning commission.
Before we get over it. By the way, folks, so you know, there was three priorities we put in some time ago to PennDOT. That's one of them, Berry Road connection with Manifold. Second one was down here, you'll see on 19 Davis School Road as it crosses over into Fisher Road. And there's down the end of Lakeview, we put those in. Do you remember those? We put those in as our top three priorities here. We just try to get those corrected. Okay, thanks, Rob. Hey, by the way, George, you want to have any questions? No? I'm good. Okay, thanks, George. Okay, we'll move the question and all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed?
No.
Okay, motion passes 4-1. Okay, letter B, Go ahead.
Motion to authorize the installation of a little book library at Billy Bell Park. You're up.
Come on over.
I'm not sure why I'm here, but I'm told.
Come on,
Just tell us what you're going,
tell
what you
us
want to
a little
do.
bit
Just
about
tell
that.
us what you want to do. And
We have a book club. We meet on Gina Drive, and every Christmas we do something for like the community or, the kids. So this year we came up with the idea to put in a little library up at Billy Bell Park. So we met with the Park Commission. They loved the idea. I spoke with, I think Officer Jason, I can't remember his last name. He looked at the security. Where we wanted to put it is next to the playground so that it can be seen by people who come and use the pavilion and the kids who use the playground. We have it built, we just need to get it installed, have permission to do that. And we was hoping that maybe the maintenance or the road crew could.
they could put it in.
Okay, help us, where to put it and everything. So we'll supply the books. We have 10 members and each of us will take a month to add books to it, go up and check on it, like once a week or something to make sure that, the books are still in there and, keep it up to date.
Hey, thank you. It's a great idea. It gives us two now. We have one down at Community Park.
Yes.
I think that's working well, and I'm sure this will work well also. So thank you very much for making the effort.
Yes, and then we were asked if we could look into, I can't think of the name of the one on Locust.
Driscoll.
Bristol
Okay,
Park.
so
Okay.
we said, after this one is done, then,
Okay.
maybe we'll be back.
Okay, sounds good.
That's nice, thank you.
Thank you
We're
very much.
excited.
Yeah.
So what's my next step?
Right here.
Right now, let me approve it and then
We're
then
gonna-
we'll get to you.
We'll approve it, then we'll come back to you and set the thing up for you.
Okay,
Okay?
Does Jeff have you have?
Oh, yeah, but we've been in
on
contact
myself?
by email.
So I make the motion to, accept 9B.
Well, thank you very much.
The second.
I'll second. Second. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
No, thanks, George.
So-
Motion passes 5-0.
So when you just call Jeffrey tomorrow, you two coordinate it with,
Yeah, we'll coordinate with,
okay,
Public Works and get that thing installed.
all right,
Great.
sounds good.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, Mr. Murphy.
Motion, or 9C, sorry. Motion to advertise an amendment to the township recycling ordinance for possible adoption at the December 2024 meeting.
Motion to approve.
That's that motion.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Now, discussion. Any board members have anything they want to comment about? Have you read it and so forth?
I had some questions before the meeting. Jeff pretty much answered them.
Okay.
There's a lot of older people in this township that just either don't recycle or don't generate enough recycling to justify the expense. And actually, I got a call on the way here tonight about a vacant property that these people had that they're expected to pay. Well, I'm a big recycler and I believe in recycling and my family's done it all of our lives. When we had the business, we may have not have done things differently, but we did turn the reports in, and in our office buildings in Pittsburgh, everything's recycled. But I think when it comes to the point where we're charging people for a service that they're not using, I kind of have a problem with that. And I understand it's required by the state. And I think that maybe it's time that some people across the state talk to their legislators and their senators and said, hey, people who want to do the right thing will do the right thing. If the township provided dumpsters like we do for glass, like we do for leaf waste, like we do for cardboard and paper, if we provided one additional one for plastic and another additional one for metals, the people that want to do the right thing are going to do the right thing at a lot less cost. So I know our contracts was renewed or extended to the end of next year. you know, I would like for us to look into that to see if something different could be done.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Ziegler, would you just give a briefing to the folks here so they understand what this is all about, this recycling? Even if you read the narrative, I don't care, but
Well, that's a
some.
lot to read. I could read it all if you like, but I just give a summary of
Give
it.
a summary then.
So back in the early 1990s, the DEP, Pennsylvania DEP, decided that to forward their recycling agenda, that they would mandate certain communities to be recycling communities, meaning everyone, or residents, everyone had to recycle. The cutoffs for that, there are several cutoffs, but where South Strabane falls into this is with a population size of 5,000 to 10,000 people, plus a population density of more than 300, we become a mandated recycling community. The legislation lists the types of things that you have to recycle, and I'm sure by this point, since it's like 30 years later, everyone's familiar with what needs to be recycled and what can be thrown in the trash. But we're required to, what they do is the DEP makes these laws, and then they say, township, you figure it out. Townships have to pass an ordinance to establish a recycling program. And what we do is, for many, many years, we go out and we bid and get an exclusive contractor to come in and get to everybody's doorstep and pick it up. As Mr. Bull mentioned, the contract that we just renewed in the October meeting, I believe it was, for the calendar year 2025. They're going to be collecting glass beginning again this year. So if you were taking your glass somewhere else or throwing it away, you don't need to do that anymore. You can put that at the curbside. So beginning in January, that will happen. Also, Waste Management has asked, typically, recycling has been collected on the first Monday of every month. They have asked the township to consider breaking the township, well, they would break the township into zones and then collect each of those zones on the first Monday of the month, the second Monday of the month, and the third Monday of the month. So instead of you being necessarily the first, you may be the second or the third. They've asked me to bring that to the board, and if you're okay with that, I would let them know so they could begin to get information out to the public so that everybody knows the change that's going to be taking place. Because, you know, it's been the first Monday for years, I guess, and when you make a change like that, it kind of throws people off. So
Can you ask them to break down the 3 zones and then we can look at it and
Yeah,
put it on December's meeting?
we could. I mean, that would shorten the response time to get the information out to the public that way. But we could. I mean, what they would
If
do
we're
is.
required to do it, I don't have a problem with them. I mean, I understand it's hard to get drivers and resources and equipment. I don't have a problem with that, and it is important we get it out. Could we break this motion down into 2 motions, one to accomplish that and one to accomplish the changing of the ordinance?
Yeah, you could do that.
All right, that, sister.
Well,
Yeah, we don't have to advertise that or anything.
Well, you're gonna make a motion to go through the process of amending the ordinance. We could do that. That's advertised. The item about going to 3 Mondays rather than 1, I don't know if that even needs a motion. I just kind of wanted to make sure that the board was okay with that idea
Well, they get
before.
the message out to
That can
folks.
just be added into the ordinance.
Right.
That can just be added into the
All right.
ordinance if that would,
Add that into the ordinance, we'll
Just
break it up
further-
into 3 zones and 3 different
and
Mondays.
then we could just do that motion.
Okay.
Then we can get that in the new newsletter.
Right.
Well, we want it out before the new year. So we're gonna get it on Facebook and get it out on the website.
Okay, where are we? We're ready for
We're
questions.
on,
Letter C, right?
letter
Mr.
C,
Chairman.
we're amending it.
Go
I
ahead.
just have one question. If we're gonna be allowed to recycle glass with our stuff, is it gonna be glass with plastic or we gonna have to have separate bins?
You can throw it all in one bin.
That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, motion to approve. We already have a first, we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. George?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I hear you, Mr. Bull, did you?
Nay.
Okay, those opposed, you're waiting for me to say that. Okay, it's no. Okay, motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Okay, letter D, Mark.
Motion to approve a resolution granting preliminary and final land development plan approval to Panda Restaurant Group to construct a restaurant on property located in Old Mill Plaza in a C2 general commercial zoning district.
So the folks here.
Right here.
Okay, you gotta come give us a presentation, please.
I'm Ryan First with Atwell for the proposed Panda Express. The site is within a planned unit development. The site has utility stubs and regional detention provided. We are providing 2 site entrances and exits. The northern access is shared access with the remaining part of the parcel to the east. This agreement is in place and coordination is ongoing with the neighboring development. That's gonna be done by another consulting firm. The site is intended to be to house a 7 brew. Permitting, like I said, is all being done by a separate firm and recently received preliminary recommendations from the township PC. The building is approximately 2,400 square foot with 47 proposed parking spaces, exceeding the minimum of 13 spaces required. The Panda Express will have a drive-through with 2 ordering boxes, but 1 service window. We are providing a full bypass lane, but this is not intended for service. Drive-through configuration allows for 14 stacking spaces. This is incorrectly noted on the plans as 11. We were granted a signage variance in April to allow for additional Panda lockup to 3 sides, or 3 of the 4 sides on Old Mill Boulevard. We're not pursuing any additional variances. For landscaping, we're proposing sod and irrigation on site. An evergreen hedgerow will line the parking areas, and a handful of interior trees are also provided to meet the landscaping standards.
Tell me about your restaurant. What kind of restaurant is it?
It's just like fast casual Chinese food.
What Chinese food? How many Chinese restaurants you got?
It's a drive-through. It's pretty good. I've had it before.
This will be the only drive-through.
You're a good eater, though.
Yeah, too good. Another gym.
Fellas, do you have any questions about the Panda restaurant? Anybody before I call for motion?
Yeah, because I'd like to put these in the motion or,
You
or
gotta-
no, not the resolution, I don't know. Juan and I talked to Jeffrey, I definitely want a developer's agreement with them. And then the escrow, some type of an escrow account, I know they have one now, but they'd have to sign, I don't know if they have to sign another one or the one that they used when they came through with the planning is still adequate. Just, I would like a developer's agreement with them.
And, Charlotte, where does this fit in? This extra page you gave me?
That goes on the final page.
Okay, I got you.
Good,
Yeah, now with you.
all right.
Mr. Ziegler, is there anything we need to know from this group here?
That was a pretty thorough explanation there. I don't know if I have anything additional to add to that. Kristen would or not, I'll just give you opportunity.
Scott Grove has reviewed it, he's been involved in it, and he recommended approval as well. The planning commission was full on board with recommending approval for this. For both preliminary, they came in October for preliminary and November for final.
Excuse me. Was there a lighting plan?
Yes.
Seven rooted out there, lighting.
That's been subjected to.
Yeah, well, this is Panda Express. Seven rooted different one.
Okay.
That was one thing.
You gave the approval for the lighting and the signage, you did that.
It was a zoning hearing board, but it was a third sign. They're not exceeding the size that's permitted. They were getting a third sign there.
Okay, now, Charlotte, where we fit in this request by Mr. Murphy with development agreement?
We can add it into the proposal, so we could just, again, in that last paragraph where we've added the additional language, we can make it subject to
The
development.
single page you gave us?
Correct.
You can put it on there?
Correct.
Okay, good. You understand it, it'll be included? Sure. Development agreement?
Do you want to make a motion to include those 2 conditions when you make a motion?
I think so.
Want me to make that motion?
Motion,
right, I
what's
make-
that development agreement?
Yeah, make a motion to accept the developer's agreement as well as the, resolution and put the developer's agreement in an escrow account
With the original motion.
with the original, well, it's a resolution, we're passing the resolution, so they will accompany the resolution.
Where's the first? Where's the?
I did, I read it. I made
You read it?
Yeah.
Second. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? No. Okay, thanks, George. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Item 9E,
Yeah.
motion to approve an application for preliminary and final minor subdivision for the Washington Road consolidation plan for the properties located at 960, 984, 990 Washington Road in a C2 general commercial zoning district. You said they're here, right?
Mr. Here, folks, you come up with something, explain to us what's going on. Folks understand.
Hi, my name is Mike Zemba with you all. We were here a few years ago. We purchased the parcels and we received a text amendment to move forward with a self-storage facility to expand. One of the conditions were to consolidate the parcels into one. So we've been working with you and our professionals, Melissa from Valley Land Industries, got our first round of comments back from the engineer. We believe that we've met all those comments and satisfied that. We're here tonight seeking your preliminary final approval of consolidation. So then we can move forward with our land development.
Yeah, I remember you doing this. I do remember. Okay. Motion to approve. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. All those, any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks, George. Motion carries 5-0. Okay.
9F, motion to approve a winter maintenance agreement with J. Angelides Enterprises LP for the township to perform winter maintenance for phase 2 and 3 of Bradford Run residential development for the 2024-2025 winter season.
So moved.
Second, thank you. All those in favor? Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks, George. The motion carries 5-0.
9G, motion to accept the resignation of Supervisor George Rowan from the South Sturbane firefighter local contract advisory committee. So moved.
So moved. Okay, second. Any
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bull. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
George?
Do I have to abstain or can I vote on that?
You can vote on yourself.
Okay, aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Item 9H, motion to appoint Supervisor Russ Grego to the South Sturbane firefighter local 5006 contract advisory committee.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Second, thank you, Mr. Merkel. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Grego. Thank you for your volunteer service there. Okay, next.
Item 9I, motion to accept the resignation of Brad Bonai from the Township Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any, no need for further discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 5-0. And I'd like to
9J.
thank, hold on, I'd like to thank Drake for his service. He wasn't on it that long, but long enough to help us out, so I do appreciate that. Okay, go ahead.
9J, motion to appoint Craig Rumbaugh to fill the vacancy on the Township Planning Commission.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. Congratulations and thank you for serving. Okay. Again, Mr.
9K, motion to approve the promotion of a firefighter to fill a vacancy for fire captain.
Motion to, need a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Need a second. Thank you. Mr. Chief, you would like to tell us about it? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't have the board action in front of me. However, we had a resignation about 2 months ago from Captain Ringer. He accepted a full-time position with the federal government. Once that was communicated to myself and the township, we began a hiring for a promotional process internally to all currently employed firefighters. We received a total of 6 interested parties, 4 of which were full-time firefighters, 2 of which were part-time firefighters. We conducted the interviews about 2 weeks ago. That hiring committee was pretty substantial. But the only ones that actually scored it were some of our mutual aid fire chiefs and Mr. Ziegler. So we had assistance from the city of Washington, Cecil Township, Peters Township. Mr. Ziegler scored in those interviews for us to allow myself and our other captains to kind of remain unbiased throughout the process. So I can share with you, and two of these folks were in those interviews. Actually, all three of these folks at some point were involved. They weren't easy. We designed the questions specifically to put them in difficult situations with everything from operations to dealing with angry residents to dealing with personnel issues, volunteer and career issues, and they had to demonstrate their abilities to be able to navigate through those. So I'm happy to announce that firefighter Scott Boland, hopefully soon to be Captain Scott Boland, was successful as number one in that process. And all of our candidates did a very, very good job. We were very happy with the process.
Congratulations.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion
Mr.
to-
Boland, did we do that already?
No, let's make a motion.
To accept.
No, we did it.
You did a motion.
Okay, all in, yeah, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, George. Motion passes 5-0. Next.
Motions, 9K, motion to approve, promotion of a firefighter to fill the vacancy. Oh, I'm sorry. We did that. L. Same thing. Motion to promote
My God.
part-time fireman, yeah, to full-time to fill full-time vacancy created by the captain promotion.
Okay, you want to speak to that?
So given the promotion of now Captain Boland, that created a vacancy for a full-time firefighter. We offered that position to the two part-timers that applied for the captain's positions based on how well they did during the interview process. And firefighter Brandon Newman, who is one of our current part-time firefighters, accepted that position. So Brandon's been with us for about 1.5 years at this point, right? He has done a really, really wonderful job of meshing with our department. You remember one of the reasons we started hiring part-timers was so that we had the operation, the ability to have a farm team. So he's been playing for 1.5 years, and we're finally happy with him to move up. So we're excited for him to get started.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Thank you for the interesting position.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kramer. Okay. We approve that.
I don't think we.
Did we make a motion?
Yeah, we made the motion.
That's all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, George. Motion carries 5-0. Let's go on.
9M, prepare a letter of support for Ouija's 2025 LSA grant application for an upgrade to the watershed treatment plant.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Second. Thank you, Mr. Gregg. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Move on to the next one.
9, and motion to prepare a letter of support for Ouija 2025 LSA grant application for the Shark Tears Interceptor Sore Rehabilitation Project.
Motion to approve.
Second. Make the motion.
You make the motion. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Go ahead, Mr.
9O, motion to authorize staff to review the township driveway ordinance and prepare a amended for consideration at a future meeting. So moved.
Second. Second. Thank you. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. Thank you. And letter,
9P, motion to approve the proposed 2025 annual township budget.
motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we added a fire tax, brought it in the township, $960,000 a year. And in 3 years, we managed to, well, in 2 years, I guess, we managed to allocate that, and it's pretty much allocated, spent. I'm afraid that South Urbane, the residents are just not going to be able to afford to live here if the township doesn't start doing some things differently. For an example, our public safety is going up an average, well, it's going up $451,000, an average $763 a year. from 22 to 23, 23 to 24, and what we're proposing for next year. I understand wanting to have nice things and good things and do good. But you know something? This township's raised the taxes almost 95% in the last 5 years. And I'm concerned that we're going the wrong direction and we're not going to be able to sustain it, given our contractual wage increases for our firemen and our police department, our road department, and we have to start doing something different around here, or this township's going to have some pretty significant tax increases to move forward. And for that reason, I cannot vote in favor of this budget.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. All those in favor, let's take a roll call vote on this, Mr. Ziegler, to approve the budget for 2025.
Very good. Mr. Rowan,
No.
Mr. Grego,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Bull,
No.
and Mr. Weber.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2.
Okay, before I call for adjournment, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving on behalf of the board. And thank you once again for attending, and next time I promise I'll be better and be straight and take care of business. Motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice Thanksgiving.